Welcome to Always Moving Forward with Renee.
Moving forward.
Good morning and welcome to Always Moving Forward with Renee and friends. As always, we're glad you invited us into your homes. Happy Sunday to all. Today is the day that the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. I am Renee Ross Bowers, and my friends are Jackie on the right there and Lenore right here on my left. Noni couldn't be with us today. She's traveling to Atlanta, so make sure you keep her in your prayers. We must remember our sponsors, who is United Success Network. Remember, if you are having cash flow problems, you want to contact USN, and they can be reached at 313-657-5556. When you call that number, remember you're reaching me, but you can also call them directly at 313-282-4455. And don't forget Mr. Antoine Bell, CEO of Bell Global Network. Mr. Bell makes it possible for us to be with each and every one of you on Sundays. So that's a good thing. So let's give it up for Mr. Bell.
Hey, all right, Mr. Bell.
Also, if you need prayer or you want to let us know that you just watched the show, call or text 313-657-5556, or you can email us at gwealths111@gmail.com. And we all hope that you had a great and safe Thanksgiving. John 5th chapter, 14th verse. Later Jesus found him at the temple and said to him, "See, you are well again." While we celebrate our cancer survivors every day, today we take a moment to recognize an amazing person who had battled cancer, beaten it, and is now giving their time and energy to help others. That young lady is sitting right here next to me. Her name is Felicia Ramsey, a stage 4 breast and liver cancer survivor. Felicia is 39 years young, married, mother of 6, graduated from Baker's College with a degree in business management. Her goal is to give hope to others who are facing the unknown. Currently, she is working on a book which will be going into great detail her journey with cancer. Felicia, welcome to Always Moving Forward with Renee and friends.
Thank you all for having me.
Okay, we're so glad that you could make it. But you know, we do have a couple of questions here. And I'd like to ask you, what events led up to your diagnosis? Or how did you discover you had cancer?
Well, I began to get a tenderness in my right breast. And I would notice that it would be hard for me to sleep, just a lot of discomfort that wasn't there. And there was no other signs as far as there was no discharge from my nipple or any of that thing. There was no discoloration. There was no bulging of the breast. It was just tender. So that prompted me to go and see my physician, my primary physician. She then ordered me to get a mammogram, had the mammogram taken, and after getting the results back, they said it wasn't cancerous.
Oh, wow.
Right. So 9 months went on, and I began to feel more discomfort. It was getting harder for me to sleep, and I began to feel like a potato size in my breast. And so I then said, I need to go get this checked out. I went to a different hospital, which is the current hospital that I'm with now, which is McLaren-Macomb. And immediately when I went in to take my results from the previous hospital, that doctor looked at it and said, no, you definitely have cancer. So that's how I found out when he looked at my results from the
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, you know, Felicia, I just want to share something with you, and with you, audience, as well. I'm a breast cancer survivor, and this young lady right here, Lenore, she's also a breast cancer survivor. But, you know, it happens differently. Like Felicia said that, you know, she felt discomfort. I found out through this young lady right here. I had her on a previous show, and she kept talking about the importance of that mammogram that you had. The mammogram, the self-check. Well, I went home, and I couldn't get that out of my mind. I couldn't get it out of my mind because I couldn't remember the last time I had a mammogram or did a self-check. I did a self-check because of this lady here. And I found out, but it was in an early stage, Felicia.
Thank God.
Mine was stage 1.
Thank God.
So I'm cancer-free now.
All right, yes.
Cancer-free here, Felicia,
Yes.
and cancer-free with, you know, Lenore here.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I just thank God.
Yeah, me too.
I thank God for you, honey. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right, I have a question. What were your thoughts when you found out that you had the cancer?
Well, the day I took in my results, my husband accompanied me. He and I both went in. The doctor sat me down. He showed me the film. I looked at it. He showed me exactly what he was talking about, the tumor in my right breast. And my first thoughts were, what's next? I didn't have fear. I didn't think of death. My first thought was, I'm going to beat this. So what are my next steps? What do I have to do now? Is what I wanted to know. And
Okay.
so that was how I felt in that moment.
Okay, what type of cancers were you diagnosed with?
It started in my right breast and then metastasized to both lobes of my liver. So I had about 10 different tumors on both of my lobes of my liver. And I had a huge, I don't remember the exact measurement, but it was a nice sized tumor in my right breast. And I was stage 4.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Felicia, like for me, it's been 15 years since I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Praise God.
So my doctor's plan of action was mastectomy. I had 7 days, no longer, they told me I had exactly 7 days, no longer, to make a decision. You know, and I spoke with my husband and my family, and I finally made a decision. So what was your doctor's action plan for you?
Well, the action plan was this. They wanted me to do chemo to try to shrink the tumors. And then they wanted me to do radiation afterwards. So we started the chemo. I did that for about 8 months. And the tumor did shrink. The tumors left off the liver, so I was in the clear. And then we didn't start the radiation right after. We ended up waiting a little bit, and the cancer actually ended up coming back. So the cancer for me came back 4 different times.
Wow.
Each year, back to back to back to back. So, and then they wanted me to also have a double mastectomy. But keep in mind, I was 31 at this time, and I was in the mind frame of I didn't want to let go of them, which sounds silly, thinking back on it.
No.
But I needed to know that I had done everything I could do first without just jumping to that. You know, so I
Right.
just wanted to be the best advocate for myself and make sure I could do the best other treatments before doing that.
Wow.
You said that you had 2 cancers, breast and liver cancer.
Yes, ma'am.
So do they connect in some way?
So it started in the right breast and it metastasized to the liver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, Felicia, I know that, you know, cancer is a dreaded word for a lot
Yes.
of people.
Yes.
And, you know, you have husband, and there were 6 children. There are 6 children. how did you tell the kids?
Well, how I explained it to the kids was I had to really, for myself, be mentally ready to tell them, because I didn't want them to be afraid and feel like, I'm about to lose my mom. Mm-hmm. So I mentally prepared myself, and I sat them all down, and I told them, like, this is what's going on. Mm-hmm. Mommy's gonna fight, and either way, whether if I make it, thank God. But if I don't, I make sure I explain both sides. Don't be upset with God. Don't be angry about it. I've gone on to a better place, and that's His will. But I will give it my all, and I will fight hard. And by talking to them and keeping calm, mm-hmm. it helped them to, stay calm and not react and cry and feel fear.
Right. Okay, viewers, what I'm going to say now, because what we're talking about is very, very important, and Felicia has some important information that you need to know about. So I'm going to ask you, as always, run and get that sheet of paper and that pen, because you want to take some notes on this as well. But Felicia, if they want to get in touch with you and maybe ask you some questions or something, or talk about a support group, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, I have 3 different ways that you can get in contact with me. On Instagram, my name is Felicia_Ramsey. That's spelled FELICIA_RAMSEY. Felicia Ramsey. That's for Instagram. On Facebook, it's just my first and last name, Felicia Ramsey. And I also have an email address. It's Felicia Ramsey Changing the World @gmail. So again, that's Felicia Ramsey Changing the World @gmail. So those are the 3 ways you can contact me.
Okay, and we're going to spell that name one more time.
Sure. That's FELICIA for Felicia. Ramsey is RAMSEY. And I'll also repeat the email address too for you.
Okay.
It's Felicia Ramsey Changing the World @gmail.com.
Okay, that's a good one, changing the world.
Yes, because that's my goal.
Right, changing the world. Okay, you heard that, audience. Felicia is here. She gave you her information to get in touch with you. For some reason, if you don't have that, you can always reach our show at Always Moving Forward, 313-657-5556, and we can forward that information to you. All right, ladies?
All right.
Okay.
Yes. I was telling Felicia in the bathroom, I was looking at her, and I told her in the bathroom, I said, people cry because they ain't got no shoes until they meet a man or have no feet. And for myself, Felicia, when I went through the chemo, I had like side effects. I couldn't eat any Chinese food. It would make me sick. A lot of things changed for me.
Yes.
What changed for you going through chemo and radiation? I know it's very hard.
Yeah, it was very difficult for me. Chemo does 2 things. It destroys the cancer, but it also destroys the good cells in your body.
Right.
So it tears you down. But I don't regret going through any of the things that I've been through, because going through that now I'm able to reach out to you all and let you know that it's okay and you can get through it. The side effects are not your friend.
Right.
And usually one side effect leads to taking another pill for that side effect, and so forth and so forth. But the ones that stick out the most to me would be the one where I would stay up all night. I would be extremely tired. I would want to go to sleep, but my body would not go to sleep. So I was like a zombie just walking around the house, and I was tired but could not go to sleep. I couldn't eat. So my diet was greens, cornbread, and tomatoes.
Sounds good.
That was it.
Which greens are excellent.
Yeah.
Soul food down home.
Sounds good.
Right. I couldn't eat meat though. I couldn't eat any type of meat. If you cook dinner in the house, I couldn't smell it because it would make me nauseous and want to, So I would just go as far like up to my room or something, so I didn't have to smell the smell of them cooking. And one thing though that I would definitely wish I would have done that I didn't do was blend up a bunch of fresh vegetables and put it maybe in a yogurt, or maybe put it in a sherbet or something like that, so that you're getting the nutrition that your body needs. And then another side effect that I remember that was weird to me, and I don't remember what medication I was on, but it would make me cry all the time. My tear ducts would constantly tear up. So I'm out in public and people just think I'm sad all day. And I'm not, it's just one of the side effects. So going through that, there's the things that keep you going, you know, is knowing that this is a fight that you're in. These are things you have to currently deal with. But if you stay strong and you keep God first, and that's really and truly for me what kept me, you know, moving forward was God and my family.
Why did it affect your marriage? Or did it affect your marriage?
Well, thank God I have a patient husband who is, he's very patient, he's very laid back. And so when I would go through the mood swings and things like that, because they put me into menopause, and so I would have the hot flashes, I was moody, and that's on top of all the other medications and side effects I was having. But he was very, very sweet, understanding. If he felt I needed my space, he would give that to me. But if anything, it brought us closer together. Yeah, he was very, very, very supportive. Very, never missed an appointment, never missed anything. He's very supportive.
I was that lucky too. My husband, when I would get my chemotherapy, they couldn't wake me up. Okay, I'd fall asleep. It happened, you know. We have all the chairs sitting there, you know, and I'd fall asleep. And so the first time it happened, the nurse came to me and she goes, Miss Johnson, wake up. Well, she couldn't wake me up. So when I woke up, she was crying. So there was this other nurse there, and she said, I told her, she said she couldn't wake you up, so I told her, what's your name? It's Lenore. I called her Lenore. So they told me after that, you got to bring somebody that could wake you up. So I would bring my husband to wake me up, right? So he would come, and he would sit there through the chemo, and then he'd say, sweetheart, baby, doll. And I said, huh? They said, you got to bring him every time. So,
and I can relate to what you're saying, because every chemo infusion that I had to get, I always went to sleep too. Okay. But the thing that would help me through that, my husband was always there, but I would always put headphones on, and I would listen to Kirk Franklin, and it was God comforting me when I was getting that, because I knew what was coming after that treatment. I knew how sick I was about to be. Wow. I knew what was coming. Yeah. So for me, I would listen to gospel music, and it would be my comforting pillow, if you will. And that's how I got through the treatments.
Okay, yeah, that is awesome. But you know what, audience, they went through chemo. They have new procedures now. I've been cancer-free since February the 9th of this year.
Praise
and
God.
I went through a new procedure, which I didn't have to take chemo.
Amen.
I didn't have to take chemo. I had one-stop shop, and they gave me one dose in my surgery of radiation.
Wow. Okay.
So one dose of radiation and no chemo.
it's awesome.
You know, that's what I went through. But, you know, as both of these young ladies said, they had support.
Yes.
And that's what you need.
Absolutely.
You know, you need support. I had the support of my husband. People went through my journey with me.
Yes.
My husband, my niece, and two of my friends. Every doctor's appointment, everything I went to, they were right there. Because a lot of times, you can't remember everything.
Right.
You're going through something that's affecting you.
Yes.
You know, that could be life or death.
Yes.
You know, so you need somebody there. And I mean, one of my girlfriends, she's a retired secretary, and she was there taking notes, you know, shorthand.
What a blessing.
And I mean, she was doing everything.
What a blessing.
While I was sitting there trying to figure out why me.
Yeah.
Why me? You know, I help everybody. So why me? Well, okay, I know you got another question.
Oh, I wanted, a lot of people who are listening in our audience might not know the difference between chemo and radiation. So you want to give them or let them know? Can you let them know what's the difference?
Okay, I
Well,
think you can tell that.
Well, I've never had radiation, but my husband had radiation. I had chemo, where you're set up with an IV and medication. The chemo is injected into the IV, and it's like an IV drip. And, you know, that's what I had.
Okay.
Now,
Is that
I
what
don't
you
know
went
about, did
through
you have
too?
radiation, Felicia?
I did, at the end, yes, I did. I had the chemo, like I said, it kept coming back, so for 4 years, back to back to back, I did the chemo. And then in the end, we ended up doing the radiation. And how they set it up for me was they put little marks on me so they can zoom directly in on the cancer spot so they wouldn't affect the other tissue around it. So they had me lay in this, it's like a bed, but they mold it to your body so that you're really still. They don't want you to move because they're gonna laser in on those spots because they don't want to damage the rest of the organs or things around it. But radiation wasn't bad for me. It did burn my skin a little because it was in the right breast. I still have the discoloration from it, but and it would make you tired. It would make me tired. So, but it wasn't a bad experience. Chemo was the worst for me.
Okay.
It was the chemo that was the worst for me.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't have to experience that.
I asked, why was the chemo the worst for you?
What's your question, Jackie? I didn't
Why
hear
was the
you.
chemo the worst for you?
Because chemo tears down the good and the bad. So it attacks the cancer, but it also attacks your good cells. So it makes you feel extremely tired and weak and fatigued, and there's so many different side effects to it. And then, like I said, they give you medications for those side effects, and then those medications have side effects. So, and then they put me, like I said, as well into early menopause. So there's a lot that comes with the chemo. And I'm so glad you didn't have to experience that. And I'm also glad that they have new, things have evolved
Right.
now, and there's more technology that has come out that a lot of people don't have to get chemo and go through that anymore. So that's a blessing.
Right. Now tell me this, Felicia. You said your cancer came back.
Yes, ma'am.
And every year
Yes,
it
ma'am.
came back, and every year you had to go through chemo?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Now, did it come back? Did you start out at stage 4, or did it progressively go to that?
No, I started out at stage 4. So I'll go back to when I went to my primary physician, and she sent me to the first hospital to get the mammogram.
Right.
And they said it was not cancerous. So I can't remember exactly what they told me it was at the time, but I do remember they said it was not cancerous, and so therefore there was no further testing done. But like I said, my breast became more tender and it was more painful, so that prompted me to take my records to a different hospital, and that's how,
Okay. And the three of us went to separate hospitals.
Yeah.
You went to St. John?
Well, I was a St. John employee.
Right.
And,
Okay.
and I worked in the pathology department that diagnosed specimens for cancer. And they were the ones who they were the ones who prepared did you have a biopsy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what I do. Okay?
That's
That
what you did?
Well, that's what I did for 17 years. That
Okay.
biopsy comes to my department, we process it, put it on a slide so that the pathologist can look at it under the microscope and see what they see. And see, that's what I do. So when they got my slide, well, everybody knew before I did, because they were coming around patting me on the back, all my coworkers and stuff like that.
Oh.
And then once I got, but they didn't tell me, but I knew something,
Yeah.
And then once I got diagnosed, the pathologist personally had me come down and explain my slide to me. So that's one of the perks that I had of being working in pathology department with the pathologist.
Yeah.
And even after my surgery, they all came up, make me smile. So I had and then I had my coworkers. And so I had a lot, and then I had my family. I have 5 sisters. I have a daughter. I have 2 granddaughters. I have my husband. So I had a ton of support, through the whole thing. Even when I came back to work, they said, "Lenore, you are not working overtime." I said, "Says who?" And my husband stood behind me and said, "Said I." I said, "Oops, that's the end of that."
Well, and that shows you need support.
Yes,
now,
yes,
your
yes.
hospital,
Yes.
Your hospital?
Oh, it's McLaren Macomb. It's in Mount Clemens. And my doctor is Dr. Porter Thomas, awesome doctor.
Okay, Dr. Porter Thomas. And I went to Beaumont Hospital, right up there on 13 Mile and Woodward.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I went to Dr. Karen there. She was my surgeon. But we all had good doctors.
Yes.
Because we're sitting here today.
Yes.
Yes.
We're
I'm
sitting
15
here
years.
today to
15
tell
years.
our story.
Yes.
Now, I haven't been 15 years. I haven't even been a
You're gonna
year
be there. You're
yet.
gonna be all right.
Oh, yeah, I know I'm
Great.
going to be there.
Man.
I know I'm
Looking
going to be
great.
there. My mother lived to be 98.
Yes.
So hopefully I won't be sitting here at 98.
Who was our
But-
best doctor? Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That was my best doctor.
That's right. That's who we all called on.
Amen.
Yep, I called on Jesus and I called on my mother. You know, I will tell you, I called on her.
And ladies, please don't be afraid to get a mammogram.
Right.
I know that, I
Right.
know for a fact, there's a lot of women out there afraid to get a mammogram. Just like I said, I have 5 sisters, and I'll say, you get your mammogram. I don't need a mammogram, I don't need a mammogram. Yep. You get your mammogram, go to your OBGYN, you know, handle your business, because it's very important.
Yes.
Don't be looking at me like that, Shay. You get your mammogram.
But you know what, Felicia, what can you say right quick, because we're wrapping up, to tell our audience, like Lenore just said, the importance of the mammogram. What can you tell them?
It's very important to, one, get your mammogram.
Mhm.
If you feel something still isn't right with your body, make sure you go and get further testing. You can ask for a biopsy, you can ask for a CAT scan, there's other MRI, there's other testing you can
Yes.
have done. Be your best advocate. At the
Yes.
end of the day, it's your body, it's your health. You have to take care of yourself. And if you do get bad news, it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It does not.
No.
It's about how you think about it, it's your mindset and how you
Right.
go into it. You go in fighting.
Yes.
You will come out on the right side, trust me. And if, hey, and if, always think like this too. If it's your time, you be okay with that. It's okay. It's a God put us here, but we were born and we're going to die one day. As long as you have peace within yourself, you will be okay either way. But don't let fear take over.
Okay, you heard
Yes.
that. Don't let fear take over. But I'd
Right.
like to say Jeremiah 17th chapter, 14th verse. Heal me, O Lord, and I shall be healed. Save me, and I shall be saved. For you are my praise. Like Felicia said, the best doctor
Jesus.
It's Jesus.
is Jesus. So again, viewers, if you have any questions, you have Felicia's number, her email, and what was that, Instagram or
Yes, so
something?
it's my Instagram, which is Felicia_Ramsey. And then there's Facebook, Felicia Ramsey. And then also my email address, which is Felicia Ramsey, changingtheworld@gmail.
Okay, now you have that for Felicia, but you know if you have any questions or if you didn't get her information, you can always call or text Always Moving Forward at 313-657-5556. Or you know, some of you email me at GWEALTHS111@gmail.com. And as always, we want each and every one of you to remember, God loves you and so do we.
Yes.
And we will see you next Sunday, because you know what? We're going to do a part 2. So stay tuned for part 2 next Sunday. I hope you enjoy Always Moving Forward with Renee.
I'm moving